The story begins with the final match for the selection of the national football athletes, and Isagi's team loses to Kira's. Isagi feels extremely depressed and goes home to realize that he has been invited to a special training program, offering him a chance to become a national athlete. Despite questioning his abilities, Isagi goes to the Blue Lock Facilitation Center and finds Kira there. They head inside to find a swarm and notice that all the gathered people are remarkable strikers. Suddenly, a strange man named Jinpachi Ego comes on the stage and explains his goal is to make a perfect striker who will bring the World Cup to Japan. For the next few months, they will compete against each other and the best one will be selected. This causes an uproar as all athletes believe that football isn't a one-man game, but Ego tells them that prominent names like Pele and Noel Noah have claimed to be the best in their position. Isagi, desperate for selection, rushes in, and soon everyone follows him. They are all assigned rooms to spend their days in the facility, and Isagi's number is 299Z. A screen lights up in the room and Ego explains that they have been ranked on their uniform based on their abilities, and they can improve their ranks by avoiding elimination. He explains that those eliminated will never play for the national team, and only the top 5 will get the chance. Ego puts them to their first test as a ball, and a timer appears in the room. He explains that the last person to have the ball when the timer rings will be eliminated. The game starts with the lowest ranking player Igarashi, who tries to pass the ball and eventually comes across a sleeping player named Bechira. He decides to pass the ball to him, but Bechira quickly kicks Igarashi, which causes another man named Kunigami to call out Bechira. Igarashi uses this opportunity to tag Kunigami, who angrily passes the ball to Isagi. With only 1 minute remaining, Isagi finds it difficult to tag anyone, and when Igarashi slips, Isagi thinks of using this advantage, but decides to eliminate someone of higher rank. He lunges forward, but Bechira takes the ball from him and targets Kira. With only 3 seconds remaining, Bechira passes the ball to Isagi, who instinctively slams the ball on Kira's face. Kira outrageously screams about the unfairness of the test, and Ego explains that the room is the size of a penalty area, and the time given to them is the same time an average player gets in a match. Isagi feels euphoric to have ended the career of an amazing player, and Ego then announces that the 11 players in each room are now teammates, yet rivals. On the other side, Japan's football board is briefed by Henri, who proposed the blue lock. The training begins and Isagi notices that he is behind most of the players, so he goes for extra training and Bechira joins him. Isagi asks Bechira why he passed him the ball, and Bechira explains that he has a monster inside him who leads him during the games. The next morning, their ranks are updated, and Isagi is now ranked 274. Ego explains that the facility has a total of 25 teams, with each section having 5 teams. Each team will be playing against the other 4 teams. The first 2 will be safe, and the rest will be eliminated. However, the top player from the eliminated teams will be allowed to stay. Meanwhile, an arrogant famous player, Sei Itoshi, comes across the Blue Lock presentation and shows interest. Back at the facility, since everyone is a striker, they play a game to decide Isagi as the striker for the first game. The 45 minutes begin, and just as Ego predicted, each member of both teams tries to score individually, aiming to become the top scorer. However, Baru from Team X seizes the opportunity, steals the ball, and easily scores. This goal settles Team X, and they play solid football, scoring 4 more goals. At the 42-minute mark, Bechira notices they desperately need a single goal to calm their nerves. They quickly devise a strategy, and Kunigami scores a wonderful goal. Despite this, the team argues after the match, and Isagi insists on playing as a unit. Eventually, they strategize and perform well in their next match against Team Y, but struggle to break through their defense. Team Y's striker Okawa manages to score a goal, but in the second half, Team Z's striker Jin scores a rebound goal. Isagi soon realizes that Team Y's entire strategy revolves around Nico, and he focuses on completely blocking Nico. In the final minute, the entire Y team charges towards the goalpost, and Nico tries to pass to Okawa, but Isagi intercepts it, knowing that before he got to Blue Lock, he would have made the same move. The ball comes to Bachira, and Bachira crosses the ball to Isagi, who scores the goal. Later that night, Isagi reviews the match footage and finds Chigiri there, who acknowledges that Isagi's special skill is his ability to predict the game. Before their match with Team W, the rankings are updated, and Isagi is now ranked 265, the highest in Team Z. They strategize, noting that Team W has the strong Wanama brothers who must be separated. During the match, Isagi successfully takes the ball from the brothers, and although they start strongly, Team Z picks up the pace with Kuwan scoring 3 goals. However, after halftime, Kuwan deliberately underperforms, allowing the brothers to tie the score. Realizing the situation, Isagi confronts Kuwan, who openly admits that he wants his team to be eliminated. With the W team having 4 goals against the Z team, Chigiri remembers how before his ACL tear, he was far superior to the Wanama brothers. Extra 3 minutes are added, and Chigiri notices Isagi playing with his life at stake. He feels a fire within him and decides that if he is unable to do anything in the next 3 minutes, he will consider his football career over. He starts running with all his might, and Isagi passes the ball to him, leading Chigiri to score a goal and tie the game. After losing, Team W beats Kuwan, who still hasn't learned his lesson, and heads to Team V, making the same offer. However, Team Vi is confident in their skill and rejects Kuwan. Team Z, while strategizing, realizes that Team V's Tsurugi, Makai, and Nage have collectively scored 18 goals in 3 games. Makaj, whose influential family disapproves of his passion for football, persuades his talented but reluctant friend Nage to pursue a professional football career together by promising him a comfortable life if they make it to the national team. Isagi practices late at night and encounters Baru from Team X, who has scored 10 goals on his own. After Baru scores 2 23-meter screamers, Isagi restricts his area, but Baru then scores a 27-meter screamer. This teaches Isagi to reserve his full potential for crucial moments. The match between Team Vi and Team Z begins with intensity as Makaj sets up Nagi, who quickly scores 2 brilliant goals. Tsurugi then steps in to add a third for Team V. As Team Z starts to lose confidence, Bachira sees this as his moment to shine, eager to prove that he can perform just as impressively. Bachira dribbles past everyone and scores a goal, inspiring his teammates to push beyond their limits. Kunigami takes a bold risk and scores a stunning 28-meter screamer. In the second half, Chigiri showcases his speed, making a 10-meter pass to himself, dashing past the defense, and scoring an incredible goal. Mikaj, who had always been spoon-fed and only felt control over his life through football, becomes enraged as he finds himself stuck. The fear of losing ignites a passion in Nagi, who demands a pass and skillfully dribbles past everyone, passes the ball to Tsurugi, requests it back, and scores, putting Team Vi in the lead. With Nagi's awakening, Isagi channels all his focus into his spatial intelligence, predicting the flow of the game. He intercepts a pass between Tsurugi and Nagi and quickly passes to Chigiri, who gets blocked. The ball then falls to Gin, who misses, but finally lands at Kunigami's feet, who scores the crucial goal. Kuwan reflects on himself as he thinks of how he lost the regional game because his past teammates had no passion for football, so he had naturally assumed he would have to make his way alone and forgot the power of teamwork. Tsurugi passes the ball to Nagi, and Isagi tries to intercept and fails, with no defenders. Around Nagi is sure to score a goal when all of a sudden Kuwan tackles him down. Kuwan gets a red card and is sent out of the field and tells the team to make sure they win. With great difficulty and intense passion, Isagi manages to score the winning goal for Team Z. The members all celebrate and settle the bad blood with Kuwan as well. Isagi and Bachira go to the cafeteria at night and overhear the eliminated players leaving, which motivates Isagi. Nico, who blames Isagi for his team's elimination, promises revenge. After 10 days of intense training, they discover that other high-ranked players are also labeled in Teams W and Y. Ego reveals that they were all made to believe they were in the bottom tier to fuel their competitiveness. For the second selection, they must advance individually. As they prepare, Rinatoshi demonstrates his skill by casually shooting one ball into the air and hitting it with another. Isagi steps into the second selection zone and faces a challenge to score 100 goals within 90 minutes against a holographic goalkeeper, which he passes despite increasing difficulty. He then teams up with Bachira and Nagi for the next stage, and this leaves Mikage feeling abandoned by Nagi. Next, they encounter the top-ranked players Rin, Aryu, and Tokumitsu. Ego explains the 3v3 match format, where the winning team can steal a player from the losing team, advancing to a 4v4 stage. The losing team must compete in 2v2 matches, and the unselected member will face elimination. Isagi challenges Rin's team to a 3v3 match, and rules are announced that the team scoring 5 goals will win, and a holographic goalkeeper will be allotted to each team. Isagi scores the first goal and celebrates. However, Rin expresses disgust at their display of happiness midway battle. Rin and his team showcase exceptional individual skills, and Rin's vertical spin direct shot shocks everyone on the field. Isagi realizes that Rin is playing mind games with him by purposefully leaving spaces open and then tackling him. But it is too late as Rin scores the 5th goal for his team and steals Bachira from Isagi's team. While leaving, Bachira tells Isagi to come and steal him from Rin. While waiting for other two-man teams, Isagi begins to doubt himself, but Nagi quickly reminds him to stay focused, as he gave up his only friend Mikage for a chance at growth. Baru and Naruhaya soon arrive, with Naruhaya explaining that despite Baru scoring 4 goals, they lost because the other team scored 5 first. Baru wasn't chosen as the 4th member due to his selfish playing style. Nagi suggests they challenge Baru's team next, believing they need a strong individual player, but Isagi worries they might lose to Baru. However, Naruhaya presents the challenge and Isagi accepts it, but has difficulty even tackling Naruhaya as Baru scores the first goal. Nagi's inner monster awakens and he asks Isagi to pass the ball to him, and using his perfect control, scores 2 consecutive goals. However, Naruhaya steals the ball from Isagi, passing it to Baru, who scores the 2nd goal. Naruhaya reveals that he knew he could beat Isagi as he lacks special skills, and Isagi notices that he is unable to find the correct position, while Naruhaya finds the correct position yet doesn't have the strength to make a goal. Relying on Nagi and Baru, they have a score of 3-4, and Isagi finally pieces the game together, realizing that Naruhaya has been using off-the-ball movements to find open spaces on the field. Nagi equalizes the game, and Naruhaya remembers how becoming a footballer is the only way to put his siblings out of poverty. However, Isagi utilizes Naruhaya's technique of taking a pass from the blind spot and shoots the final goal. Naruhaya is crushed and explains that Isagi's willingness to adapt and change is what sets him apart from average players. Isagi chooses Baru after recognizing Naruhaya's wish to not be pitied, and Naruhaya is eliminated. Isagi, Nage, and Baru train together and realize Baru has intensive training that he does before even touching the ball. However, Baru is extremely selfish in his gameplay and doesn't want any teamwork. Isagi eventually runs into Chigiri and Kunigami, who have formed a team with Mikage, and explains that Rin stole Bachira. Chigiri and Kunigami taunt him for not waiting for them, but they admit that if Nagi had approached them, they would have done the same. Mikaze suddenly challenges Isagi's team for a 3-on-3 match, and Isagi quickly accepts it. Later, they discuss, and Isagi thinks they lack the speed for which he wants to steal Chigiri. Nage wants to steal Mikaze as he is his friend, and Baru wants to steal Kunigami for his perfect ball retention skills. The other team wants to select Nagi if they win, but Mikaze refuses as he wants Nagi to feel the same sense of rejection he felt. The match finally begins, and things don't go as smoothly as Isagi had anticipated, as Baru plays selfishly. The other team has an amazing connection, and Chigiri scores the first goal. However, this awakens Nagi and Isagi's monster, as Isagi's enhanced perception of the field provides him with a new perspective, and he dashes past Mikaze. But when he asks Baru for a pass, he is rejected, and Kunigami steals the ball from Baru, scoring a second goal for his team. Nagi criticizes Baru, but the latter is unapologetic, and Isagi is confused about how to play with such an unharmonious team. Isagi passes the ball to Nagi, who scores a graceful goal, after which Isagi again tries to convince Baru. But Baru remains resolute, despite Isagi telling him he is wasting his talent. Mikaze, with his sheer determination, doesn't let Isagi get the ball, and eventually, Kunigami scores the goal. The team is a perfect embodiment of coordination, and Isagi now completely removes Baru from the picture as he refuses to cooperate. He notices that Kunigami and Chigiri are surrounding Nagi, and he dribbles past Mikaze as if he is going to pass the ball to Baru, who has done nothing good for the game. This makes Kunigami quickly change positions and move away from Nagi, which allows Isagi to pass the ball to Nagi. Chigiri doesn't fall for the tactic, covers Nagi from moving towards the goal, and Baru asks Nagi for a pass, even when he is closely marked by Kunigami. However, with the entire team's attention on Baru and Nagi, Isagi is left unmarked, and he uses Baru as bait. Nagi passes the ball to Isagi, who scores the second goal for his team. Isagi tells Baru to keep being selfish, but to make sure he doesn't hinder their progress. Noticing the change in Isagi's demeanor, Mikaze quickly passes the ball to Chigiri, who then makes a pass to Kunigami, but Baru steals the ball. Nagi asks for a pass, but Baru wants to showcase his talent and refuses. Kunigami's team steals the ball by cornering Baru with two members, but the pass is intercepted by Isagi's unexpected appearance, who passes the ball to Nagi, who scores a goal, tying the game with 3 goals on each side. The whistle blows and Mikaze quickly passes the ball to Chigiri, who acknowledges that he needs to push beyond his limit to win. Chigiri propels the ball forward while maintaining his unmatched speed called no slowing dribbling. Nagi, unable to catch up to Chigiri, is shocked by his development as Chigiri scores the 4th goal for his team. Baru, no longer having any value in the match, is left growling on the ground, while Isagai's monster awakens and warmly welcomes the challenge. Baru reflects on how he was always better than everyone in football, and his goal shifted from simply winning to dominating and destroying the opponent, and hence adopted a kingly attitude. He makes a shot from the kickoff seeking redemption, but the ball hits the post and Kunigami makes a pass to Mikaze. Isagi, anticipating that move, tries to intercept it, which leaves Mikaze no choice but to launch the ball in the open field. Baru takes the ball, but before he can rush to his ideal shot range, Chigiri catches up to him. Isago rushes ahead of Baru, and with his stare commands him to pass the ball, and shockingly, Baru does. Isagi slams the ball into the net, and Baru realizes that Isagi is the king of the field and his entire world comes crashing down. He admits that the pass was instinctual and he lost to someone far inferior to him in the game. Kunigami's team decides to prevent Isagi from getting the ball as he is performing exceptionally well, and decides to use Chigiri's speed to their advantage. Mikaze thinks of passing the ball to Chigiri, who is marked by Nagi. Chigiri runs towards the goalpost, but Nagi runs in the opposite direction towards the ball and barely touches the ball, making it land at Baru's feet. Baru realizes that a single pass to Nagi or Isagi can make them win this game and contemplates becoming a team player, but all his fears cling to him, and he gets a vision of becoming just like everyone else and watching football instead of playing it. His ego takes over his rationality, and he uses his team as a decoy, making them think he will pass the ball and dribble past everyone. He refuses to become an average player who is just a support to others and makes the match-winning goal. Isagi goes in for a winning high five, but Baru denies it and asks Isagi to take back his insults. Isagi apologizes, and even Nagi is amazed by Baru's goal. Baru attributes his new chop dribbling technique to the horrifying thought of not being able to prove his potential. Baru refers to Isagi with his name as a sign of respect and tells him that he will never lose to him again. Henri now considers Baru as one of the top players in Blue Lock, and Ego explains that he had not anticipated the awakening of Baru's monster. Ego admits that defeat and being powerless is the true road to success, as it forces you to create a new path for yourself, and Kunigami's team is facing this challenge now. Naga suggests taking Mikage as that would give balance to their team, but Isagi claims that unpredictability and having great individual talents is the reason for their success. He wants a teammate who can challenge them and force growth, hence choosing Chigiri. As Chigiri makes his way to his new team, he promises to wait for Kunigami so they can together defeat Isagi. Nagi praises Mikage's tactics in the game, but Mikage remains hostile as he believes Nagi abandoned him. This triggers Nagi, and he tells Mikage that he can't grow with Mikage, and hence is done with him. Isago tells Mikage to become the one who chooses, rather than waiting to be chosen. As Baru and Isagi eat, Baru asks Isagi what he sees to strategize during the game, and Isagi explains that his main weapon is spatial awareness, as he can predict the game, but he is also working on his off-the-ball movement. As Bachira practices with Rin, he realizes that Rin doesn't find him interesting and reflects on how he was never able to find someone who had the same enthusiasm for football and made an imaginary monster to play football with. But after playing with Rin, he questions if he should be hyperfixated on Isagi, who has a similar monster, or Rin, who has a completely different monster in him. On their way out of the training room, Isagi presents the challenge to Rin, expressing his urge to win back Bachira. The match begins, and it is clear that Isagi's team has improved as they score the first goal. However, Rin is still unfazed and tells Isagi that despite improvement, he is still far behind and scores a goal. Rin seems to possess the same level of spatial intelligence, but is always a step ahead as he intercepts Isagi's calculated pass. Bachira decides to showcase his skill and passes to Aryu, who heads the ball into the net. Isagi realizes that Bachira acts as the core, enhancing the strengths of the other three teammates. Nagi recognizes that Rin and Isagi have the same predicting skills, and hence makes himself an unexpected factor for both Isagi and Rin by faking a shot and then scoring a goal. This ignites a competitive spirit in Rin, and he manipulates the movements of everyone on the field, proving that he and Isagi are not on the same level. He passes the ball to Bachira, who scores a perfect goal. Isago realizes that Rin unleashes the highest potential of those playing with him and predicts their movements, creating an unexpected game. Isagi is eventually blocked by Rin and knows he won't be able to win one-on-one with Rin, but something ignites in Baru as he steals the ball from Isagi and scores a goal, tying the game 3-3. Isagi decides that he can change the game by being the unexpected factor and uses Baru's selfish mentality to make Chigiri delay Bachira, and Baru steal the ball. Rin manages to stop the ball, and Bachira's dream of playing with monsters is finally becoming true, but he feels left out as neither Isagi nor Rin consider him a competition. Chigiri and Baru get a yellow card for trying to stop Tokumitsu with force, and Rin gets a free kick. Isagi wonders whether to save the goal from his spot, or go to the other side in case Rin passes. Isagi decides on the latter, but Rin reads him and scores a goal right above Isagi's head. Isagi scores the next goal with his heel and levels the score to 4-4. Bachira, wanting to impress Rin and Isagi and preoccupied with his thoughts, loses the ball to Chigiri. The team makes multiple passes, and Isagi strikes the ball, but Rin stops the attack, and the ball bounces to Bachira, who now begins the counterattack. With a new spirit awakened, Bachira dribbles past everyone, says goodbye to his monster, and shoots the ball, but Isagi intercepts it, saying he can see that Bachira wants to score on his own. The loose ball falls to Rin, who scores the winning goal. Ren selects Isagi, but Isagi's team is unhappy and tells them they will make sure to destroy them the next time. Bachira explains that being alone gave him a new vision, but he is still happy to play again with Isagi. When Rin says that he only scored the last shot based on luck, Ego appears on the screen to explain that luck isn't as random as most people think, because Rin expected the ball to come his way and positioned himself perfectly to score an easy goal. Ego explains that the third selection will be a 5-5 match with international star players called the World Five. During a yoga training session, Rin tells Isagi that he doesn't consider him a rival, and his only rival is his elder brother, Sae Itoshi. The next day, before the match commences, the World Five insults the physiques of the players, and Rin goes to argue with them, but Luna stops his teammates recognizing Rin as Sae's brother. The match begins and Bachira dribbles past the players and poses as if he is passing to Isagi, but passes to Rin, who scores a goal. Isagi faces the French prodigy Loki, who says he has many weak spots before moving past him, Bachira and Aryu with ease. He points out that Rin is a worthy opponent, but moves past him, scoring an easy goal. Rin starts the game, but Loki blocks him, and Luna steals the ball. Aryu is defeated in an air battle, and Tokimitsu is defeated in strength by Blake, who scores the goal. Isagi realizes that the World Five overpower their team in every aspect and wants to reach their level. Luna scores the final goal, ending the game with a 1-5 victory for the World Five. The committee decides to have one major match with the top 11 players to determine the progress of the program. All 35 members from the 7 teams with 5 members each are gathered, and Isagi notices that Kunigami did not make it. Shido remarks that he was the one who sent Kunigami home arrogantly and tries to kick Isagi, but Chigiri saves him. Ego appears on the screen and announces a big match against Japan's under-20 team, and winning the game will make them a part of Japan's under-20 team and save the Blue Lock project.